Hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. I see a bunch of people in the comments.
It is an exciting week.
It is an exciting week. Let me turn off this music real quick. There we go. Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
Maybe you could introduce us. I'm going to get something finished setting one thing up real quick.
This lady right next to me is Aubrey Ellerbrock, and she does marketing. She does website stuff. You do so many things. I can't even think of what it is.
I don't even know what I do. I don't really know what I do.
But Aubrey, I'm sure you all have seen her in all of our lives, and she's here back with me again today. And I am Annie Moody, and I am one of the co-founders of Hoop Sisters. And we have a brand new design to show you today. And it's not just a design, it's a sew-along.
Yes. Yep. And really, I was trying to quantify the value behind a sew-along, and it's impossible to do. We'll talk more about it. But when you guys see this quilt, like, you've seen pretty good sneak peeks. I will say, if you've been on the mailing list and you're registered and things like that, you've seen some pretty amazing sneak peeks. But you ain't seen nothing yet.
I just hope we haven't given them too many sneak peeks. Like when you see a previews for a movie and they show you all the good stuff and there's nothing left when you watch it. So
I don't think so.
Hopefully I got some more surprises for you.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case. Good. Okay. So as we get started here today, I would love to know who is watching for the very first time. And if that's you, or you're just kind of very new to the group, I would love it if you would drop a number 1 in the comments. Give us a number 1. We have a lot of new group members in our VIP Facebook group, which is cool. Really nice. So if that's you, we'd love to welcome you. Cool. Millie said the anticipation has been built. Excellent. Look at all those number 1s in the comments. We are so glad you're here. And what our hope is that by the end of the week, because we're going to be here a lot this week, is that you feel confident and excited to maybe try something new. And for those of you who are true Hoop Sisters and Hoop Misters through and through and have been hanging out with us, some of you since 2008, we would love it if you would drop a number 2 in the comments. And we're very excited to say hello and welcome back to you guys as well. Yes, happy Monday, Doreen. Yeah. Okay, so before we show you the quilt, which I know everybody wants to see, there's our number 2s. Fantastic. Okay, so let's first and foremost, Mom, this is my mom, by the way.
This is my daughter.
So if we tease each other, know that it's all in good fun and out of love.
Good family fun.
That's right. Yep. So just know that if you're new around here. Okay. So why don't you introduce them to the rest of the family?
Okay. The rest of the family over on the left is Sarah Congdon, and she is my other daughter. And she does designing and digitizing here at Hoop Sisters. And then next to her is my sister, which is where Hoop Sisters comes from. And that is Linda Remmer. She's the, like I said, the other co-founder of Hoop Sisters. Plus, she also owns 2 quilt shops in Illinois. And that shop is Sewing Concepts, one in Woodstock and one in Carpentersville, Illinois. So maybe some of you watching have been there and know Linda.
Yep.
And then there's me, and then Aubrey, who is standing on the far right. So, and it's just all family. So we have like 2 generations of sisters designing and digitizing and keeping you people busy.
And we do have some adopted team members we're going to introduce you to shortly too. So here's the thing. I'm the only one in the group that doesn't sew. I'm going to admit it right now. I don't do any of the creative stuff.
You could do it. You just don't want to.
I don't have time. Maybe someday I will. But anyways, so very creative bunch of ladies that you guys have in this group. So let's talk a little bit about what a Hoop Sisters workshop is, because we did have a lot of number 1s. We've got a lot of new people in here. So basically the Hoop Sisters workshop, first and foremost, it doesn't cost anything to get registered and join us and watch live. Okay. So
matter of fact, we almost paid them to register.
Yeah. Did we? Well, we did. Yeah.
We did.
I'm like, wait, what?
What?
I get it now. I get it
Okay.
now because you got a free gift with your registration. And I'll show you that in just a second. So it doesn't cost anything. You're going to learn something. I almost guarantee you're going to learn something. We usually are showcasing a brand new design, and the designer joins me and they actually stitch it out live. So you trim it, you pin it, you're joining it.
Yep.
So you're going to learn something, which is really, really fun. And then we also like to do some introductory pricing and some fun things with bonuses. So just stay tuned and we'll fill you in on all of that. Here's what you were talking about.
That's what I was talking about. Is this a free gift or is this a bribe to attend?
I don't know. Maybe
I
both.
think free gift
Yes.
is a more politically correct thing to say. But yes, we do give you a free gift when you register. I'm sure many of you have already received the free gift, downloaded it, and maybe even stitched it out. So this is our free gift, which is a cute little red work design. It's an outline of a quilt shop, and you can see the bolts of fabric in the window along with the Ohio Star quilt hanging there as well.
Do you want to hold the one you're holding up?
Sure, absolutely.
So this was the free gift with registration. Now, normally we close registration at noon the day of the workshop. I didn't do that today for a couple reasons. Number one, Eve on our marketing team isn't feeling well today and she's not here. And number two, we wanted any newbies that weren't quite sure what they just got themselves into to have a minute. This is a perfect week to be joining as a Hoop Sister because you're going to learn a lot all week long. So I don't know.
All those number ones, you're talking to them.
Yes. So if you're a number one and you didn't get registered, just go to hoopsisters.com. There's a banner and you'll get this in your email. So you can make it. You can see what our instructions are like. And if you're a number two in here, maybe just give us something in the comments. Let the number ones know good instructions. Maybe let them know if you feel that way. That's not a bribe, right?
Just be honest.
Just be honest. So let people know in the comments if they're a number one that it's worth going and grabbing one of these and that they're going to find the instructions helpful. So, okay.
Is there a link for registration somewhere?
I didn't warn Nina that we were going to do that, but if you just go to hoopsisters.com, it's right on the banner. So it's really simple to find. So just know that. Okay. I also quickly want to cover that we do have some participating affiliate shops. So what we're going to show you today, I'm letting some news out of the bag early. What we're going to show you today is download only. Please don't let that freak you out. We have a whole day with Nina talking about how to get your files and all that good stuff. So the shops don't have USBs. It is just a download. Look at her. She's on it with that registration link. And I didn't even tell her we were going to do that. So if one of the shops on the screen is kind of your home shop, they do have an affiliate link and you can go on their website, find our logo, click on it, and you can order. Sarah, I just realized that you were sick all last week and I've been a little busy today. Is everything on our website ready?
Just 1 second.
Okay. We're on the same wavelength.
Yep.
Okay, so just know you can either shop with us or if you have a shop that is heavy Hoop Sisters and usually doing Hoop Sisters, and even if they're not on the screen right now, check with them because you can probably purchase it through their affiliate link. We like to support our shops.
Yep, we would love it if you would do it that way. Aubrey's drinking her coffee.
I'm sorry, my throat needs something warm. And I'm also getting sidetracked by all the wonderful, wonderful comments that we're seeing about our instructions too, which is super fun. Okay, so we have a busy week this week. We're about to show the quilt, but what else are we going to talk about this week?
Well, that's a good question. I guess I'll read the slide.
She doesn't know. No, just kidding.
Well, we're going to talk about some of the things that we use to make it, such as battleizer and water-soluble thread and why we use these particular products. We're going to stitch a block in the hoop today, so you get to see me do that. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about trimming and assembly, the proper way to pin. And then I think Wednesday, Sarah's going to come on and talk about fabric picking tips. And then we have some, just informational things about ordering and this, how the sew along works and that later in the week. So it's not just a workshop. It's going to be kind of an ongoing workshop for several weeks, but we will show you something special that we have for free for you today if you buy. So,
and I think it's really nice too to have the whole week because,
it is.
well, number one, there's replays, right? So if you can't watch live, there's always replays, although we do have live giveaways. And this is going to step you through if you're new in any capacity. This is really, this whole week is going to step you through everything that Hoop Sisters is about. Remember how I said we had some adopted team members? Here's Nina Gladden. She's been a Hoop Sister for almost 6 years now. And she is our customer service and event concierge guru. She's in the comments right now. So here's the deal. We get a lot of comments on the lives, and it's not easy to answer all of them as they're flying through, but she does a great job at that. Now, if you have something that's very particular to your cart or your download or something like that, the best thing to do is really to contact her directly. She can help you so much easier that way rather than trying to type in the comments. So her contact information is on the screen. We have a real life answering person, okay? You're not going to get a voice or a press 1 for this.
Right. And the cool thing about Nina is I think that her keyboard is actually scorched because she's her fingers are flying. She's answering from Facebook and YouTube, and she's just trying to get all your questions answered. But like Aubrey said, something specific. Then you can contact Nina.
Yes. No, there is no kit. I'm going to throw that out there right now. So nobody has freaking out.
Kit.
No kits this time, but we will talk about fabric all of Wednesday.
This is a scrap buster.
Don't talk about it yet.
Okay,
we're not there yet.
That's Wednesday. Sorry.
Okay. So, do you guys want to see it? We've done a lot of talking just to get everyone prepared for what we have coming out this week. But are you guys ready to see the quilt?
I'm ready to show it.
Okay, before we show it. I want to let you guys know I do have a giveaway set up. Have you seen the keyword today, Mom?
Cute.
So our keyword for today is moo, like a cow says, moo. So if you want to participate in our live giveaway, just type the word moo in the comments and we're going to have fun, you know?
We really are.
We've got to have fun.
I can't wait to show them. Since this is a row quilt, I'm going to try and show it row by row.
Okay.
In the beginning.
All right. You do that, and then we'll hold up the other one.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. I'm going to put you on the screen. Let's reveal this.
Okay. There's one of the rows, and this is a cute little forest here in this row. There's several different kinds of trees. We have a cute little apple tree with some beautifully satin stitched apples on there.
It's so cute.
It is very cute, very cute. And some fun quilting in the background. And then we come to, this is called Town and Country. So now we're coming to our town version of it. So this is our town. And in the background of the town is some more trees. So we have our quilt shop over here. And of course, we had to use a little vinyl for the window.
Well, also, I just have to say, this is the kind of quilt that you could look at for a while and pick up new details. For example, there are bolts of fabric in the quilt shop windows and an open sign on the door. And I didn't even realize the bolts were there until somebody pointed it out.
It's just really fun. So, and you have a quilt hanging in the window. So we tried to put a lot of detail in there. And at the top, it says my favorite quilt shop. And then we have the library. It looks like it has those giant, heavy wooden doors in the front of our library with our cool columns in the middle. But that's our library. You know, then those big, huge cement blocks is what it's made out of. And this one here is actually Sarah's favorite. And this is the cafe. And it says coffee, lattes, and pastries. And I just want to go right now.
Well, even like this galvanized little flower pot, a flower bed with the flowers in it.
A bunch of little daisies or whatever those are. A bunch of cute little yellow flowers there. And inside, behind the vinyl or the window, you can see the table and chairs. It's like a metal table and chairs. and it says welcome on the door sign here. And you have a black and white striped awning. And it's just a brick building. You can see all the detail of the stitching to make it look like brick.
And what a great segue to talk about why Hoop Sisters is so special. I mean, the quilting is always included. So all of the quilting details you see in here are not a separate purchase, and you don't have to go get it long-armed. Everything is in there.
And then there is the church. Seems like every town should have a quilt shop. They all have a library.
They got coffee
There's
shops,
coffee, and there's also a church and a grocery store.
Mhm.
So our next one is the church, and there's some stained glass windows. There's a neat arched doorway. There's a little window up here and across, and you can see the roof here. What's cool about this? Yeah, this is cool. This one here rolls into the row above it because we put the steeple up into the row above it. So these two rows must be stitched together. The other ones you can shuffle around in different ways if you want to do that. So there's our church.
Joni said her stash thanks you.
Oh, you're welcome, Joni. And then we have the market. And in the market, it says on sale ground beef $4.99 a pound. I don't know if that's accurate anymore, but that's what it is at our market. And there's the automatic doors says in and out, open 24/7. You have your shopping cart. You have a little vegetable stand on the outside, and it says Town and Country Market. We'll just lift this up and get a little higher so you get a little closer look at our market.
Isn't that cool?
Just so cute.
Mary said you outdid yourself.
Aww.
She actually said y'all outdid yourself.
Aww.
And she also, I forget where she said she was from, but she said something cute, and I heard it in a Southern accent earlier.
So now we get to our country section.
But did you show, I mean, like,
yeah, we
the
have some wind swirling.
The trees.
Yep, we have some trees. And you know what? We did it in green, so it looks like spring or summer.
Mhm.
You could do it in fall colors if you want
that
to.
would be cool.
That would be really cool. But we're going to move up here to our country part of our Town and Country. And we have such fun things here. We've got our clothesline. We've got our 3D clothes that are hanging there. So you would stitch out your clothes separately.
They're so
and
cute.
Cut them out. Even the little socks, you would cut them out. And then you would work on this block, which stitches a whole bunch of clothespins. You'd slide your clothes under there, stitches a clothespin, stitches the next clothespin. So it's like, just a lot of fun.
Are you kidding me? This clothesline and the birds. Did you talk about the birds?
Yeah, there's little birds, hopefully not leaving things behind on your clothes, but there's cute little birds. You can make them any color you want. We've got the grass, and we've got a laundry basket here that has cute basket weave stitching.
I mean, the basket even is so cute. I've never been so excited about laundry. The clothesline.
I kind of long for in this when spring hits. I'm thinking, should we put a clothesline out?
Yeah.
Just wonder how many people even have that anymore. And then we have our top row, which is our country. So we've got our little farmhouse here, has a door with oval glass in the front. And in the picture window of our little farmhouse, we have some curtains and a lamp and some cute shutters.
I mean, the cloud quilting, though, like the clouds.
Yeah. Yep. Which is very subtle. You really don't see it because I use the same color thread, but you can see that. And then there's our silo and our barn and our either sunrise or sunset, depending on which side of the day you're on.
I love it.
But then there's our barn, which is so super cute. It has actual moving barn doors to it, which are stitched in there. And there's a cow inside the barn.
I know.
So super cute. So I'm going to bring the cow up here so you can see him.
So precious.
He's got a gate in front of him because we don't want that cute little cow getting out. So there it is. So those are all the rows. And the fun thing too is the border has that wind stitching that is in this row here. So we've mimicked this stitching and we put it over here in the border. So that is our Town and Country quilt. This is our 5-inch sample of Town and Country.
And Jane, I agree. She says, OMG, the minute details involved. It is, I mean, Annie thought of everything. So here's the thing. You might be thinking, can I even do this?
Oh
Well,
my goodness.
yes.
Yes.
And we'll get to how we're going to help you do this very, very soon. But we want to show you the 8-inch sample
Yeah,
because
yeah.
this does come. You want to grab that before I put the.
hang it up.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
This does come in 2 sizes. We haven't got to all the details yet, but we did want to make sure that you got a good look at it. Now, at Hoop Sisters, Annie made this size first.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 8-inch block size.
A little bit.
We just showed you the 5-inch. Normally, I like big. I'm like I'm big.
I know.
But when you made the little one, I was like, it just might have got cuter.
It did. It did.
So let's
show the difference. So you get 5-inch blocks, which is this little one, and then the 8-inch blocks. So let's put it up in the corner so they can get an idea.
Isn't that cute?
The size difference.
So the other thing that you'll notice if you have a keen eye is that the rows are in different places.
Yes.
So you want to talk about that a little bit?
That's the other thing. All the rows can be moved around and put in different places if you want to. This row here, you can even move the blocks, which we did here. We had the barn over here and the silo on the other side. So you can mix and match where the country rows are.
Yeah.
The clothesline, it's pretty much going to stay the same. You can just choose where you want to put your laundry basket. We have it in 2 different places here. The trees are the same way. The trees, you can put them anywhere you want. The only rule is that this is actually called row 4 and row 5. These need to be put together because they do flow. And we did that because of the church steeple and the tree trunks and tree, the trees are flowing.
So this needs to remain intact,
right.
But you could move both
Right.
up.
This needs to be remain intact, just like you see it. But everything else, you can shuffle
Play
it
with
around and
it.
make it your own.
Yes. Okay. I know, Kathy. She said make some freestanding dolls to fit the clothes. I mean, you could do a lot for sure.
Told you we should have done that.
We kind of joked about it, but we
did.
didn't get to it. So, the amount of detail, Annie put a lot of time and effort into this quilt. And I just want to show you a few more pictures of how stinking adorable this is. Oh, Sarah, can you help move this camera? I mean, it's so cute. And I love that you can
show them that much.
Well, we can hold that up here.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So we're just trying to figure out how the best way to get you guys a good view. But I mean, how stinking cute. The details are incredible. Annie put a lot of time and effort into this and it shows. I mean, I can't get over it. Even the birds on the line. And I love that you have a little bit of say in where things go. And we're about to show you something even more incredible because the versatility has not ended yet, has it?
No, it hasn't.
So here's some of the details. A lot of times people want those quilt details. So just to let you know, they're all here. You're getting all these files, all the quilting. And does the clothesline actually hold the clothes?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does. There's little clothespins that are stitched and you slide your clothes on an area where we tell you exactly where to slide your clothes so you know where the clothespins are going to stitch, and they will stitch on like the shoulders of the shirts and the dresses and the top of the pants. It'll just stitch and hold it on there with a stitched clothespin. So I think you guys will have fun doing that.
It's
even
adorable.
Little bitty socks.
Yes. Okay, and it is a download only. We'll say that again. I know that's a little different. It's sort of like Mystery Quilt, how we did a download only. That's what we're doing this time. It's $79. And I'll ask Nina if she's available and not on the phone, if she could drop the order link so you guys can check that out. But don't go away because Annie's going to be stitching here in just a minute. Also, we did mention this, but it does come in a 5-inch size and an 8-inch size. So if you have a machine that only has a 5-inch sewing field, you can do this. And I got to tell you, the 5-inch is really stinking cute.
Really.
They're both cute, but
For
yeah.
some reason, we fell in love with the little one this time.
I do feel like, and Annie, you'll tell me if I'm wrong, but I do feel like you could make some extra trees, make it a little
Oh,
bit
yeah.
bigger if you
Yep,
wanted.
Yep.
So there's definitely room to play with layout and with the size of the quilt. But wait, there's more.
You were talking about different ways to lay things out. Talk about it.
Yeah. So we added something extra. This is an included bonus. So sometimes we'll do, almost every time we do a bonus if you get it within the week or whatever. This is going to just be included. It's not an extra separate file, but this row right here, can you guys see it okay? This is just an extra. So let's say, for example, the farm row isn't your thing. You can pop this in place. You can play with the colors, do whatever you want. This was the 5-inch. Annie's got the 8-inch.
Or you could just do it as a little mug rug.
Yes.
Or
just add another row.
Right. You could just make it bigger by adding more rows. This could be your border in place of that.
Yep.
So much versatility. So let's just see. Hold that up over one of those rows.
All right, let's go right here.
So can you see how
I'm probably in the way.
Yep, it just changes the entire quilt. Or you could, put this in between some of them. You could put it at the top and the bottom. You could make two borders. You could use this as a border.
Ooh, like a double border.
A double border.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bonus block in there for you to use whichever way you want to use
in case you didn't have enough versatility.
Yeah, but you know what? You could stitch this out and make an entire quilt with just this bonus block. That'll be worth it.
I mean, I know someone's going to make a bag out of this just based on the people in our group. I'm going to see a bag out of just this. I just know it.
We're going to find out who the bag ladies are.
Could you alternate the bonus with the trees? Absolutely. The only rows, like Annie said, that really need to remain together are this tree row here and this row here. So those will need to stay together, but everything else you can play with. You can move things around. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, this is what Annie is going to stitch today, right?
Right.
I'm going to stitch the bonus.
I'm going to hop on over there right now.
Okay, she's going to go on over. We're going to get you stitching. And then Nina, if you could drop that order link while she's stitching, and I'm going to pop our bonus, or I'm sorry, our keyword for the day back up on the screen, which is the word moo. Oh, you want to see what you're doing, don't you?
Yeah.
And don't forget your mic is over here.
Okay.
So you're going to have to talk
so
loud.
I'll try and talk really loud. It will annoy them.
I hope not.
So this is your instructions for the bonus. And just has pretty pictures on the front. And you have fabric requirements right here if you want to do a mug rug. And then fabric requirements here if you want to do an entire row. So you can pick which way you want to do that. So, and just for those who typed in a number 1, I'm just going to show you how the instructions are. Hopefully they'll be able to see this. Is that we give you a diagram and we tell you what fabric, but I will tell you, you can choose whatever fabric you want to do to make this. If it's something you're going to add to your quilt, I would make the quilt first and then pick what fabrics that you think this would look really good in. But our instructions come with step-by-step along with the diagram. So your first step says hoop battleizer, place water-soluble thread in the needle, and embroidery bottom thread in the bobbin, and sew the placement stitch onto battleizer. I will show you that I actually have step 2 halfway done. This was step 1. Now the instructions say to use water soluble thread. If I had done that, you would not be able to see this. So I broke the rules so that you can see exactly what's going to stitch out. So this is step 1. Step 2, and this is an optional step, is if you want to add an extra layer of wool, so that there's a little more dimension in your quilt, you can go ahead and do that. And when you do that, you're going to take the edges of the wool and press them down about 1/4 of an inch on the inside. This helps prevent your presser foot getting caught in the wool. And if you're going to use wool, we also kind of recommend that you raise your presser foot just enough to skim over the top of that wool. So then the next step, when you place your wool, what the machine does for step 2, it sews a zigzag, and this also is a water soluble step. But as you can see, I use that dark thread so that you can see that. So let me just gotta move my fabric. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm going to finish stitching down that wool.
You're welcome, Kathy Johnson. Mom Jane Gritmacher said that the center tree, the big round one, could be made into a water tower within her town.
Oh, there you go. That would be very cool. Then our next step, which is step 3, it tells you you're going to continue with your water soluble thread and you're going to sew the pattern. So I'm going to sew the pattern. It is on the wool. If you skip the wool, of course, the pattern will then be stitched on the battleizer. I'm going to back up a little bit. This is our battleizer product, and it's basically batting and stabilizer combination. It's a combo product. So because you're doing quilting and embroidery, you would need a stabilizer for embroidery, and you would need batting for a quilt. So this is a combo product. It's a 2-in-1, so you only have to buy and hoop the one product instead of 2. Okay, so let's go ahead with step 3, which is us sewing the pattern onto our wool battleizer. Now what I'm doing is I probably could have raised my pressure foot just a tad more, and that's okay. But I'm going to just take my fingers ahead of where the pressure foot is, and I'm just going to push that down. And if you do happen to get a little bit of wool caught up on your foot, you could just go ahead and cut that wool out and it'll lay back down and it'll be fine. So you probably will experience that once in a while. Easy fix. And I will tell you, usually with the type of embroidery foot I have on this machine, going backwards, it's less likely to get caught because it's kind of pushing it down itself with the back of the embroidery foot.
Joni, I see your question. The bonus is actually included this time. There is a 10% off that we're going to talk about shortly, the usual type of 10% off. So she said her fingers hovering. She needed to know she's ready to order.
Settle down. It's okay. Okay, our next step is we're going to take the fabric and we tell you exactly what size to cut it for your 5-inch and also your 8-inch. And this is also a step that is also done with water soluble thread. That way you have all these very few thread changes in the beginning. But again, I'm doing it with the colored thread so you can see what the machine is stitching. So I will lay that piece of fabric right over the center. I always pull it up and make sure I have even amounts on every side and that the entire area is covered. And now I'm just gonna hit the start button and we're going to sew a tack down.
Hey, Annie, we've got some number 1s. So also when you have time, let's talk about, again, why we use the water soluble thread.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to go grab an example.
Okay. One of the reasons, the main reason we're doing it here in the beginning is because we've just done several different steps and we have not had to change our thread. The other reason is anything sewn on the outside edge of your block is going, when you sew your blocks, this block to the next block, if you don't have that seam in exactly the right place, the thread that you use to tack down the fabric would possibly show. And if it does, and you use water soluble, you just have to get it wet in order to get rid of that stitching. All right, so now I'm gonna pull this out a little bit. And what you would do here is you can trim these to just a 1/4-inch seam all around this block. And I'm using our hoop scissors, and it's an offset handle scissors. And this is great for like trimming longer areas of fabric. We have a mini, which is amazing for applique. I'm going to take the hoop off so I can trim this. But what we also like to tell people is when you are doing any type of trimming, make sure you are doing it on a flat surface and don't just put it on your lap because you could run the risk of it popping out of the hoop, and you don't want to have to stitch something all over just because of that. This offset handle makes it great for getting down in the hoop. All right, I'm going to put this back on here. Now at this point in the design, and make sure I'm grabbing the correct fabric here, step 5 says to place neutral color thread in the needle only. I'm just going to continue with that dark thread that I was using, and then you're going to place fabric 10 right side down, raw edges even, and you're going to sew the seam. I just want to make sure I'm using the correct fabric here. Yes. So this is the fabric I'm going to use next. And you're basically going to take your fabric and you're going to put it right side down, so it's right sides together, and you're going to align the raw edge of the fabric up with the raw edge of what you just cut. So we're going to go ahead. The cool thing about doing it in a hoop like this versus just doing normal piecing is that it doesn't matter if you don't have a perfect 1/4 inch seam, as long as, because what's happening is the machine is going to stitch just inside this. The machine will stitch the seam exactly where it needs to be. So perfect 1/4 inch seams and cutting your fabric perfect sizes is not nearly as important when you're doing normal piecing.
What? You don't have to be perfect?
No, that's right.
I like the sound of that. I do see a couple people mentioning they're not seeing discount in their cart and different things like that. Hang on with us, because I promise I'm going to get you the best deal coming up shortly.
All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to flip this fabric right side up. And I'm going to finger press it. And this is how you finger press it. Just smooth out the fabric, and just with your finger press that. And then make sure it stays laying smooth. I'm going to continue with the same thread, and it's going to sew a tack down stitch.
So the machine's doing the hard work.
Yes.
And you're just making sure you got fabric and thread in the right spot.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. So the next few steps are basically, we're going to continue. I may have lost a piece of fabric. Maybe not. I think I may have.
Oh, it's under here.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, good.
There you go.
So I don't need it now, but I will in a couple more steps. So now we're just going to do pretty much continue doing the same thing. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do the trimming here just like we did before. And we're going to trim this approximately 1/4 inch. Again, perfection is not necessary. And we're going to trim that. And then we're going to continue around the block doing the seam, flipping the fabric, finger pressing, and trimming. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one to show it to you one more time. And then I think I'll flip it over to Aubrey after that. And I think she's usually got some details to talk about.
I do.
I figured. So there's our seam. And then you flip the fabric right side up. You finger press, smooth it out, finger press it, and then it sews a tack down. And then I'm going to trim it again. And then I'm going to do the seam and just repeat the process till I have these two areas covered.
Okay, so while she's doing those same steps just a couple times, I am going to share some details with you. First and foremost, we've talked about this, we've thrown this word out a couple of times, but let's talk about what this sew along is actually going to entail, because I think this is so fun for a newbie, okay? And it's super fun if you are just a regular hoop sister, mister, you've been here with us a long time. It's just fun. You get to hang out, do these live sessions, and learn a little something along the way. So we do have a sew along for this one. This is another great reason to have it be a download. You can get your files and start getting acquainted with everything that's included in there. because Monday, September 30th at 11 a.m. Eastern, we're kicking off a sew along, and Annie's going to spend 4 weeks with you going over different sections of the quilt, showing you exactly how to do everything. So if you had to guess, if I wanted to hire you to teach me how to do this for just 1 or 2 or 4 sessions, I mean, it'd be a lot, right?
It would be a lot.
Good thing we're not charging for it. This is
Right.
just included for anyone who orders this design. We're going to have 4 sessions. So September 30th, October 7th, October 14th, and October 21st. The question I know I'm going to get is, what if I can't watch it during that time? Don't worry, we do have replays. Replays are always something that we're going to have. So the replays will be available on YouTube and in Facebook. And if you're in the group of people ordering, we'll email you the replays as well. So yeah, so works out good for Shelly's schedule. She's in on Mondays. Perfect. So just know, even if it isn't the perfect time for you, you can still participate while watching the replays. So you can, what's really nice about the replays, you can pause us and you can rewind us and go, what did she just say there?
You can pause it, do what we taught you,
Yeah.
and then move on.
Yep. So everyone will get the replays if you're ordering. It'll be in your email, okay? And it'll stay within our groups as well. Okay, the other thing that I want to make sure that you guys know is we do have free shipping. It's going to be this week, this whole week. We have this promotion going on, okay? Since we're live all week. You look like you're ready to go to something else. Let me finish this and then you can have it back. We're going to fight over time today. But anyways, this is within the contiguous US on orders of $129 or more placed before this Friday, September 20th at midnight, okay? So just know, as you're thinking about what you're going to add to your cart, we're going to talk about some other things, products and things like that that might be helpful for you. So just know that that's coming too. And I haven't got to the 10% yet, but I'm coming. But Annie wants to take back over and show you how to do this. All right, all you.
Okay, cool. So we have all our orange fabric around there. Now we're going to move to this cute blue fabric and we're going to sew a seam here. So it's basically the same thing, stitch and flip seam around the whole thing. There's just one thing that's slightly different. I'm going to do a couple seams here. Let's flip this little thread tail. And then you're going to flip your fabric right side up and you're going to finger press just like before. Now before it would do a tack down stitch, but on this outside edge, we're going to wait to do the tack down stitch until we have all these 4 corners. So we're just going to flip it, smooth it out, finger press it, and then we're on to the next seam. So I'm going to just put those raw edges together and it's going to sew the seam. And again, I'm going to flip the fabric. I'm going to finger press it. And then I'm going to grab my next piece of fabric. See how quick this is going. So again, it's raw edges even. Make sure you have equal amount on both ends. It stitches your seam. We're going to flip it, smooth it out, and finger press it. The final seam on here with the raw edges even and equal amounts on both sides. Stitch our seam. All right, and this is the final one. We're going to flip it and finger press it. Now this is to the point where if you're making a mug rug, you're going to want to put a backing fabric on here. And that's what you do for the next step. I'm going to skip that, but I am going to talk about it a little bit. And I have an example to show because I messed it up. Okay, so our instructions say place water-soluble thread in the needle only, and you're going to smooth out all these corner pieces. And then you're going to sew the tack down to hold these in place. This is if you're going to use it in a quilt or to use it for one of your blocks in your row, and you wouldn't have to worry about backing. But if you're making the mug rug, you're going to add your backing fabric. And then if you're doing that, you need to remember to match your bobbin thread to your needle thread from here until the design is over. And the reason you do that is so that you have pretty stitching on the back as well as the front. I have an example of not so pretty stitching. Here is, I'm going to go ahead and make a mug rug. I'm going to make sure all the digitizing is right. I'm going to test sew this. I put the back on it and I continued sewing, and I did not match my needle and bobbin thread.
Whoops.
Whoa. Like, darn.
Darn it. Now you can show your mess up, though.
That's right. So now I'm showing you my mistake. So just remember that whatever thread, if you're doing a mug rug and you have the backing on, that whatever's in your needle, the same thread should be in your bobbin. And then you should always bring that bobbin thread up through the block. So you do a needle down. I'm doing all these hand motions like they can see me. But you'll do a needle down and a needle up, bring the bobbin thread to the top. And if your machine has an automatic thread cutter, we recommend you turn it off, because what could happen is you could get some little bird nesting happening. And by turning the thread cutter up and bringing that needle thread or the bobbin thread up to the top, it will avoid a lot of bird nests and stuff on the back, because you want the back to look as pretty as the front. But I'm not going to add a backing. And if you were to add a backing, I'm going to talk about this too. You would take your hoop off your machine and you would just center your backing fabric right on here. It will cling real nicely to your battleizer. You could use a temporary spray adhesive like a Sulky KK2000, something like that if you want to, but spray your fabric over your trash can. Don't spray right here and get anything on your hoop and get it all sticky. But typically that battleizer, the fabric will just cling right to it. Mm-hmm. And then you would just carefully turn it over and slide it in there and put your hoop back on your machine. And I always just pick that up and peek underneath, make sure nothing has folded over. And then you're set to go. Again, you would use water-soluble thread. And we will show you why, because we did have a question as to why. But let's pretend that I have water-soluble thread. Again, I'm using that dark thread so that you can see where it is stitching. And it's basically going to tack these corners down and also attach the backing fabric to your block. And this is for the mug rug, the backing. If you're making a row for your row quilt, it's a one-piece backing. And then you can just skip the backing.
Maureen, when she said, what does it mean it is digitized?
Digitized means that we take the ideas in our head and we turn them into stitching. We use a digitizing software. It just means that it's a file that has information on it that your embroidery machine reads so that it knows where to stitch what.
That's the part that we do. So you don't have to worry about that.
You don't have to worry about that. Okay, so now I will just tell you there's a couple steps here. One of them is some quilting steps, and the other one is that pretty little heart that was in there. So my next step is the stippling that's right here. And then after that, it's going to do quilting here, and it's going to do the cute little heart. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Those are all pretty easy steps. And I kind of explained already, match your needle thread if there's a backing on it. So we kind of went through some of that. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue. And I'll let Aubrey answer any questions that you might have over there.
Okay. All right. So just a reminder that we do have free shipping going on this week with anything shipped within the contiguous US on orders over $129. That will automatically happen in your cart, so you don't need to worry about a coupon code or anything like that. No, this is not available on USB. This is going to be strictly a download. Okay, let's talk about the best deal. We always like to know what the best deal is, right? So if you create your own bundle at the order link, which Nina will drop now, if you pick within that category that she's linking to 2 items within that category with some exclusions, it's automatically going to take 10% off of your bundle. So you're going to create your own bundle. Don't go looking for a bundle. You're going to pick different things in there. And we did include some other designs in there as well. So that's perfect for someone who's international. I did see a couple customers from lots of different countries. If that's you and you want to take advantage of the 10%, then I would encourage you to look at the designs in that category and do maybe 2 downloads or something like that. So the exclusions for this will be the strip stick, which we haven't talked about yet, the monopoly thread, and the Vanish Light water soluble thread. So any threads as well as the strip stick are not included in the create your own bundle, but lots of things are, including our battleizer and our trimmer and our scissors. So just know that, okay? And then what else do we want you to know? The bonus row. The bonus row is included this time. And what I mean by that is usually the bonus is something that's only available during the workshop. This bonus is going to stay in there because we just think it's so fantastic and it's such a versatile option for this quilt. So that is the block that Annie is making right now. And it is this row that we held up for you, which we'll hold up again when the screen's big. But this could be a mug rug. It could be a row in your quilt. You could turn this into a border option for your quilt. You can make it your own. There are so many versatile options. And this is an included bonus when you order, okay? What else do we have? All right, here's a really good example too. So workshop pricing and bundle bonus, everything in terms of the create your own bundle and the free shipping, you have to do those by Friday, the 20th of September at midnight, okay? But here's what I want you to see. So the design is $79. There's a lot of digitizing in this design. Annie worked her butt off on this design. Plus we're doing sew-along, 4 classes of a sew-along is $79, which is a fantastic price. But if you're bundling, you're only going to spend $71.10, okay? In this example, I did include 15 yards of battleizer. If you're doing the 5-inch, you might just want to do the 5 yards of battleizer. So you could do the smaller battleizer option. But in this example, it shows you the 10% off price if you order during this week. The bonus row is not going to be sold separately. But if you did, it'd probably be $15, around in that range. So we have it listed as free, but technically it's worth another $15. So if you order during the workshop, which is this week, at the order link in the comments right now, you're going to save some money. Okay, so that's always good. And then, of course, the free shipping doesn't hurt either if you're within the contiguous US. All of these things are going to happen in your cart automatically. If something doesn't look right or you feel like you're not getting the best deal, then please reach out to Nina directly. I'll pop her information on the screen. You might want to wait till after the workshop because she's doing a lot right now and I don't want you to miss anything else in here, but just know that she will help you individually as well, okay? All right. I'm going to keep going. All right, so here's the complete set and it's adorable. You obviously are going to get the quilt, which is the Town and Country Row quilt. Phenomenal digitizing, lots of little details. You could spend a long time looking at it and you always find something else. Like I didn't know that those clouds were even there until I looked at it for like the 16th time. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm looking at it in person, which is even better. Okay.
And it's even more fun when you're stitching it out and you're seeing these details come to life.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun.
Yep. And then of course the bonus block and then that free gift too. And we don't usually do this, but I did leave registration open. I don't know how long I'll leave it open, but I did leave registration open. So if you didn't grab that red work quilt block and you're like, oh shoot, I wish I would have, then go ahead and get registered. There's still time to do that. Okay, I'm going to actually pop this up on the screen while Annie's finishing that step up because we do have a full week of really fantastic information. And our goal is that we are going to hold your hand through the whole thing so you feel confident to begin maybe your first Troop Sisters project. Although I know I've seen a lot of you frequent flyers in here saying, ordered. They're ready to go. You don't have to keep up with anyone, including us, but we are going to walk you through it. So tomorrow, Annie's going to do some trimming and like how to pin, join, and that sort of thing. So we're going to walk you through that. We are going to be using our trimmer by George. So if you don't have a trimmer by George and you're thinking about doing this project, I highly encourage you to add that to your cart, especially because it'll get you the 10% off and it'll work your way towards the free shipping if that's something that you want to do. Then Wednesday, we're going to have Sarah and Annie talking all about fabric. Just a reminder, this does not have excuse me, a fabric kit, but it is a fantastic stash buster. Yeah, hang on, they're talking to me. I can't do two things at once. There you go. So we're going to talk about different recommendations. I think we used a lot of Michael Miller, but I do see some poppy cotton. So we'll talk more on fabric on Wednesday. And then Thursday, Nina's going to be joining me live. We're going to talk about how it works, how to download your files, frequently asked questions, customer service. We're going to really spend Thursday getting anyone who's new around here very, very comfortable with how this is going to work, which I think is super helpful. And then Friday, we're going to talk about with Annie kind of how to get prepared. What should you have in place before September 30th if you want to hit the ground running with us for the sew along? Every day this week, we will be live at 2 p.m. Eastern. The sew along dates are going to be 11 a.m. on those Mondays that we mentioned, okay? And you will get lots of emails reminding you, showing you where to go, and guiding you along the way as well. It looks like Annie's got something else she wants to share with us.
There's the completed block. That's all I wanted to do was show you the completed block. Now I used, can I have this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm lazy on live, so be honest, I just kept the same. I changed it to light color thread to match my background here, but then I popped that dark thread in and just stitched it all over on all those sections. But as you can see, if I was stitching this to actually use it in the quilt, I would have put contrasting fabric. So for instance, on the orange, I would have used a thread that matches this fabric. And on the blue, I would have put orange thread that matches that, which is kind of what we did here. So I'm just showing you my finished block. Tomorrow, we are going to use a trimmer by George. We're going to trim all this up. But I know we did have a question about water-soluble thread and why we use water-soluble thread. So I have kind of a nice example here. This is our cute little watermelon wall hanging. When you sew the blocks together, that basting stitch that holds everything down, if you do not use water-soluble thread, this is going to be showing. So you're going to have that thread showing, and you would have to get your seam ripper to pick it out. But you could just get a little Q-tip and just get that, dab it with some water, and it would just dissolve and you wouldn't even know it was there. So that's the reason, one of the many reasons we use water-soluble thread.
Yes, Linda, you will get the bonus. You will. It should be in your files, but if you're missing it for some reason, since I know you got it at an open house, reach out to Nina and we'll make sure you get it.
Okay, that's all I have as far as stitching that cute little block out.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is our giveaway. I encourage you to type, if you haven't yet done so, type the word moo, like a cow says moo.
Like the beginning of my last name.
Yes. Type that in the comments, and we'll also get some questions answered. Oh, great. Someone's learned something new already. That's fantastic. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. We are going to do the giveaway real quick. Oh, we kind of talked about this too, but
Let's not confuse the giveaway.
Oh yeah, different giveaway.
Yeah.
We're going to give away Buttercup tomorrow, okay? Today is a $50 store credit to our website, which, I mean, come on, that's fantastic, right? So let's go ahead and do that while everyone is here.
It's funny, all these moves coming through.
All right, here we are. So we've got 429 of you in here, and this is pulling from YouTube and Facebook. So good luck. Someone's going to win. We've got lots more fun later this week too. Lots of giveaways going on live. All right, Peggy Wild,
Yeah,
congratulations.
congratulations.
I love it. Okay, so Peggy, what you're going to want to do is get a hold of Nina within 5 days and let her know that you were the winner, and she's going to pop $50 in Hoop Sisters store credit in your account. Congratulations, and thank you for watching live. The other thing that I have coming later this week is a couple special guests who are going to pop in live.
That's awesome.
They're going to talk about a sew along that they participated in.
Cool.
They're going to show us their quilt, and I'm going to ask them what advice they would give to a newbie. So I'm very excited to bring in a couple different days some of you all. So we're going to feature you guys too. All right. So any questions we can answer, we'll hang out here for just a second. But that's it, you guys. We're super excited for this quilt.
It's so adorable.
And sew along. Yep. So go ahead. And Nina, if you would drop that order link one last time. We are going to come back tomorrow. We're going to be live tomorrow talking about the trimmer. As I said, if you're in putting things in your cart and you don't have a trimmer, get yourself a trimmer. It's going to save you so much of a headache. And tomorrow when we show it, you're going to go, oh, I wish I would have just got it. So just get it now. All right. I think that's all we got for today. Anything else you want to say?
Not really. I'm excited for tomorrow and the whole rest of the week. And I just hope you love this quilt as much as we do. And we have we're a bonus stop on Shop Hop. And it's just been interesting to watch people's reactions when they see it.
Yes.
It's, I think they've all loved it. So
yes, they really have.
Yeah.
And what's not to love? It is precious. Oh, do you need a special weight thread for the lettering?
No, I use a polyester, 40 weight polyester embroidery thread. And I just use the same for the lettering as well.
Okay.
Good question.
I love it, Candace. She's mentally envisioning her fabric choices, going upstairs now to look through your stash. And I honestly, like, the kits are so nice, right? Because you don't have to think about it. You know you're going to love how it turns out. But this is very exciting because we're going to get to see everyone's kind of stash turn into something really amazing. Right. And none of them are going to look quite the same.
That's what I like. The kits are nice. They are convenient, but we love to see what you guys come up with because you're all so creative. And you can, it has like a lot of little pieces for this, that, and the other thing. So that's why it's a great stash buster. There might be a few yards you maybe need to buy for the backing and the border, background and the border, but for the most part, your stash, you can raid your stash, which is always fun.
And then tell your spouse that you did that so that they're like, okay, you finally used some of your stash.
Exactly. And since it's Shop Hop season, you can go around to the shops and get all the rest of the stuff you need, pick up some fat quarters. You'll have fun shopping for this.
Yes, the next question I see is will there be a replay? Yes, we always have replays. They will remain in our Facebook group under the guides tab is the easiest way to find that. And it's also on YouTube, on our YouTube page under the live section. And we email the replays, especially if you've registered, you'll receive that in your email as well. Okay, can you explain the vanish thread and how it does in the bobbin? Some have a real problem with the machine's reaction to this thread.
Well, I will tell you the vanish is in your needle.
Yes.
It's not in your bobbin. You're just going to use it in your needle and just use your regular embroidery bobbin thread in the bobbin.
Yep. So that should help.
That'll definitely
slow
help.
Things down. Keep it in a cool, dry place when you're storing it. If you've had it a really long time, might want to get a new one. I mean, it does wash away.
Try it first and see. It might be fine.
Yep. Okay. All right, you all. We'll be back again tomorrow with some trimming, pinning, joining, and recapping, and then the rest of the week too. So we'll see you then. Thanks so much.
See you tomorrow.